Hello and welcome to Ryno's Orioles Report. So, another 500 week for the Baltimore Orioles. Would have liked them to get a series win against the Cleveland Guardians, but they did win the series with the San Francisco Giants. As you can see, I am on massinsports.com. Get right into the week that did not start off very well. Last week ended pretty good, did not start off that way. As you can see, shutout last Monday at home when the Cleveland Guardians were in town. Not great at all. See, did not give up any home runs, which is nice. Camden Yards has become more of a pitcher's park. You can see the low number of hits by the Orioles. Though Santander, 3 hits. So, like seeing that. And James McCann got a double. Santander also double. Mullins caught stealing. Frazier and Wells throwing errors. Not a great game. Part of it is Cleveland's pitching was pretty good. I mean, starters going 7 innings, that's, not a lot you can do about that, even if your starter goes 6 innings and strikes out 7. 4 hits, 1 earned run, 7 strikeouts for Tyler Wells, which is fantastic. Did not deserve a loss there. Yeah, he did give up 1 run, but you don't deserve a loss there. Not today's Major League Baseball, right? 1 run over 6 innings, you still get the loss? Really? Bad luck. You can see Perez here was only able to get a third of an inning. But as you can see, 4 runs, 2 earned runs. So that's where one of the errors was. To give up 4 hits, it's not great. But on the plus side, Mike Baumann, was able to come in and stop the bleeding. 1 strikeout in his 2/3 innings pitched. Givens, very nice to see that Givens can have a clean inning. Relatively clean inning because he did walk somebody. But 1 inning pitched, no hits, no earned runs. You don't like to see the no strikeouts, but however, Aiken, it's nice to see that he can come in and have, again, a relatively clean inning. To give it the 1 hit, no runs, no walks, did have a strikeout, which is nice. Let's go to Tuesday's game. Trying to see, yes, I think this was, where was it? Was it Monday's game? One of these games, Mullins gets injured. I honestly can't remember which one it was. It had to be, I mean, he's not in the lineup here. It had to be Monday's game, right? I think it was right here at the end of Monday's game. Grounded out to shortstop and running down the bases, he came up lame with a pulled hip flexor, groin, something of that nature. Yeah, it had to be this game, man, because yeah, I don't remember. Recap. What game was it? Yeah, there you go. Infield grounder in the 8th. Well, there you go. I could have just, well, it's a good thing I know this button now. All right. Moving things along. Tuesday's game went a lot more the Orioles' way. They broke it open early. Cleveland was able to put some runs on the board, but it was nice to see that the Mullen-less Orioles were able to win a game. As you can see, Hayes started in center. Valver started in left. Then McKenna came in later in the game as a defensive replacement, but then went to center field and Hayes went to left field. Another game with a lot of runs, but no home runs. Hey, if it works, it works. Santander, Arias, Henderson with doubles. Santander with a triple. It's happened when balls go into corners. What did Henderson do? Henderson, 2 for 4, 3 RBIs. Santander, 3 RBIs. So I'm not seeing a whole lot from the bottom of this lineup now. Very disappointing. Gibson got the start. Went 5 2/3. Gave up 7 hits and 3 runs. Walked 1. Struck out 3. Not a terrible performance. You don't like to see the 7 hits. That's fairly high. Sadly, he wasn't able to finish the 6th inning, and Baker came in and was not able to shut the door on the 6th inning because he allowed some people to come in. So Baker, only a third of an inning, 1 hit, 2 earned runs, a walk, and a strikeout. Coulomb and Cano tandem for the 7th. Coulomb did give up a hit and a walk, but was able to get 2 outs there. Cano came in, did his usual thing, and then pitched the 8th. Did give up 2 hits between his inning and a third, but did get his 11th hold because didn't give up any runs. Batista, 14th save right here. 1 strikeout in an inning pitch. That's low on Batista's side, but getting outs is getting outs. This game, getting to Wednesday's game, and try not to yell and scream at how poorly I think this game was run. You may remember last week I said that Grayson Rodriguez was sent back to the minors. So, for whatever reason, Brandon Hyde and Mike Elias and however they came up with the decision, decided not to bring up another starter. So you got 4 starters. So what are you doing that 5th day? Well, apparently you have a bullpen game. This did not go well. Of course, the day I go and come to Baltimore to see you guys play. This is take a giant dump on the field. The offense played pretty well. Sadly, because of the way they decided to pitch this game, did not go well. 12 hits, 8 runs, that's great. You like to see an offense do that. You're thinking, great, we have a great chance to win. Well, not if your pitching staff gives up 17 hits and 12 runs. Santander home run. O'Hearn 2, Frazier, Teo with 1 double, says it, that is. So 4 doubles and a home run. That's wow. And you still lost the game. Cool. Part of the reason they sent Grayson Rodriguez down is to work on fastball command. Generally, command of the strike zone in general. Because walks had become a problem for Grayson. Again, there I go saying Grayson instead of Rodriguez. I don't know why I do that with almost no other player. Oh. However, Rock Kubatko wrote an article, literally said the same thing I was thinking. You send Grayson Rodriguez down to the minor leagues to work on his fastball command. But, one, you don't bring up another starter to fill the hole. And two, what does Grayson Rodriguez really gain? Oh, opportunity to get better command of his fastball. It's easier to do that in a minor league game than a major league game. I mean, yes and no. I mean, either way, it's still a game. I guess the real point is you don't hurt the major league club, the big club, the show, where, everything's on the line out there, with a guy going out there just, to work on his mechanics and his command and such. But how is this not hurting you just as much? He goes down there to AAA. Well, that's it, just to work on fastball command? Like, he gains nothing else. There's nothing else there for him to do. He can't work on his fastball command up here in the major league somehow? Maybe stick him in the bullpen. There, if you had him in the bullpen, he could have pitched a few innings here. Worked on his fastball command that way. Some of it is because of some of the way the days off are. They may have some of these 5-day stretches where there's only playing 4 games. Therefore, you only need 4 starters. Well, here you had this game. Aiken did not look right. He has started before, but something about going, being a starter, going to the bullpen, and then trying to come back to start doesn't always work well. He was able to get out of the first inning relatively unscathed. 2 hits, 1 run. Did strike out a person too, which was nice. Austin Voth, a little different. Though he was able to go 2 1/3. 5 hits, 3 runs, 3 earned runs, 3 walks. Did have 3 strikeouts. That's kind of a lot. Perez didn't really do any better. 2/3 of an inning, 3 hits, 2 runs, 1 walk. Givens, you even register him pitching an inning because he didn't get an out. 2 hits, 3 runs, 1 walk. Bauman, 2 1/3, 4 hits, 3 runs, 3 strikeouts. You like to see that they can get some strikeouts, but Grayson Rodriguez could have done this and worked on his fastball command at the same time. What? I don't understand. Baker, finally somebody to come in and stop giving up runs. Baker, 1 2/3, 1 hit, 3 strikeouts. Coulomb, 1 inning pitched, no hits, no runs, no walks, 1 strikeout. But by then it was too late. Cleveland had the back end of their bullpen already in. Just don't really understand the logic here. Because even if you wanted to go with 4 starters, leave Grayson Rodriguez up. Have him throw some innings out of the bullpen. He can then do some side sessions as well and work on his command instead of going down in the minor leagues, blowing away everybody. Because, let's face it, minor league hitting is minor league hitting. Yes, there are some very good minor league hitters, but they're minor league hitters. Grayson Rodriguez is kind of in that tweener phase where he's a little too good for minor leagues, but not quite there as major league pitching goes. I thought it was a relatively quick decision to send him down. Yes, he did have a bad outing, but it's not like every outing was bad. Some of the outings were good. What's the problem is he really couldn't get out of the 5th inning, or he couldn't go more than 5 innings because he was having command trouble. So, series loss here. Oh, and I forgot. Mr. Aaron Hicks, with Mullins being down, the Yankees wanting to cut ties with Aaron Hicks, well, the Orioles grabbed him. Well, he technically had 3 at-bats because one of these was a walk. 2 hits, 2 runs scored. Well, guess what? Leg cramp, so had to get replaced by Taron Bauer later in the game. And it happens. But part of the problem is who's next in line in the outfield in the minor leagues. Kyle Stowers and Colton Cowser, if I'm not mistaken. Both were on the injured list, so they did kind of need to pick up Aaron Hicks. All right, moving on to San Francisco. Baltimore Orioles in San Francisco against the San Francisco Giants. Very nice ballpark. Does have a little bit of a Camden Yards feel with all the brick that they have out there. Relatively low scoring game. 2 runs early. And then the Giants tied a little later. So most of the game was tied 2-2. But then in the 7th, Orioles got the go-ahead run by Gunnar Henderson. How about that? You like to see that. Who DH'd. He went 1 for 4. The 1 being the home run. The game-winning home run. Very nice. Hayes and Mateo. Well, wait. I'm sorry. O'Hearn and Mateo knocked in the other 2 runs. Caught stealing Mateo. Disappointing to see that finally gets on base and gets thrown out. Dean Kramer pitched 6 innings, 5 hits, 2 runs, 2 walks, 6 strikeouts. Very nice outing by Dean Kramer. Coulomb and Cano got holds. Coulomb struck out the side. Very nice. No hits, no runs, no walks. 3 strikeouts. Cano, not as good. Didn't give up a hit, didn't give up a run. Did walk somebody. No strikeouts, which is somewhat standard for Cano. He's more of a ground ball pitcher than a strikeout pitcher. Batista did get his 15th save at this point. Did give up a hit, but struck out 3. So very nice to see. I do want to look at Yastrzemski here. Yastrzemski. Mike Yastrzemski. Yes, that Yastrzemski. The family name, I mean. Used to be in the Orioles farm system. I want to say Rule 5 situation, and they lost him. 1 hit and an RBI. He came back to bite you this time. Let's go to Saturday's game. Shut out again. 4-0 San Francisco Giants over the Baltimore Orioles. Very, very disappointing. Not many hits. Only 5 hits by Frazier, Rutschman, Mountcastle, and Hicks. And O'Hearn, who O'Hearn has been seeing some outfield time because of the Mullins injury. Yastrzemski. 1 for 3 with a run scored. Another ex-Oriole. Somewhat disappointing to see Alex Cobb pitching like this against the Orioles. Had him here a few years ago. Had a good bit of arm trouble and couldn't play most of his maybe not most of his contract. Roughly half of his contract, I think. He really couldn't pitch because arm injuries. Bradish got to start, could only go 4 innings. Tough to see because he had been stacking good appearances. Finally ran into a bad one. 7 hits, 3 runs, 1 walk, 5 strikeouts. Aiken in relief, 2/3 of an inning, 1 hit, 1 walk, 2 strikeouts. Fairly nice outing by Keegan Aiken. Would have been nice if he could have, gotten the next out. But Baker in, another 2/3 of an inning. Did give up a run, walked 2, struck out 1. Perez in after Baker, another 2/3 of an inning. Odd how that lined up. 1 hit, 1 strikeout. So, pretty nice to see Perez do that. Look at this, Mr. Zimmerman. Click on his name. Is it Brian? What is... Let's go, Mr. Internet page. What the hell was that? God, I'm blanking on this guy's name. Seriously? That is so odd. I can't remember what his first name is. Why can I... Bruce Zimmerman. Jesus. Huh? Remember that. Hometown kid. Very nice to see him back up here with the club. It's kind of puzzling as to why... Aiken was down in the minor leagues, so when Grayson was sent down... Grayson Rodriguez. Jesus. I keep using his first name. Rodriguez was sent down and Aiken was brought back up. Well, Aiken had already been here for a bit. You would have thought Zimmerman would be next in line to get the shot instead of Aiken. Both lefties. We'll see. Hopefully he can stick around a while. I know bullpen's getting kind of crowded out there. Did pitch 2 innings, gave up 1 hit, but struck out 2. Very nice. Welcome back to the Baltimore Orioles, Bruce Zimmerman. Sunday's game. 8-3 Orioles. Love to see that. Big inning in the 3rd with 6 runs. McCann home run. Hicks got a triple. One man's trash is another man's treasure, I guess, huh? You're not good enough for the New York Yankees with all the huge spotlight on them. Well, you're going to be good enough for the Baltimore Orioles, I guess. He has fit in rather nicely here. Mateo Rutschman with doubles. Frazier, Hayes, Hicks, Mountcastle, Lester with 2, James McCann with 1 as far as RBIs goes. That's right, Mr. Lester. Oh, God, who went down? Gibbons. Gibbons was replaced on the injured list, and that's why Zimmerman got a spot. Where did Lester get his spot from? Can't remember where Mr. Lester, Josh Lester, longtime minor league player, so it's very nice to see him get a cup of coffee or whatever this is with a major league club and contribute. Yeah, I can't remember who's injured. Who's injured that got this guy up here? There's no transaction list, is there? Check the roster if I can see the roster. See who isn't around. Jordan Lyles. Jordan Lyles isn't on his team anymore. That is weird. I can't figure out who is. They are only carrying 7 pitchers in the bullpen. 12 pitchers altogether. 8 pitchers then. It's just a starter they're missing. Zimmerman replaces Givens. Aiken replaced Rodriguez. Who? I mean, if Hicks replaces Mullins, and I cannot remember who Lester is replacing on the roster. Nope, can't remember. Oh well, not too important. But yes, hopefully Josh Lester, who went 1 for 3 and 2 RBIs, can be up here a while and get some playing time. Gunnar Henderson, maybe that's what it is. I can't remember. I don't think Gunnar Henderson is on the injured list, but he was having some back spasms. Actually, was this game Saturday's game? Saturday's game. You see how Urias went in for Henderson. Did have some back spasms. So, but I'm not sure whose spot on the roster that is. Yeah, I honestly can't remember. Sometimes there's so many roster changes. It's very hard to keep up with. All right, pitching. Tyler West started. 5 1/3, 4 hits, 2 runs, 2 walks, 9 strikeouts. Getting a lot of strikeouts. We did see that Wells had the capability to put in performances like this, but didn't really think we'd see, 5 to 6 innings and him striking out 8 or 9. Very good move to carry this guy who was a Rule 5 player. When was this? Was it 19 maybe? 2019, 2018 maybe? And then he did have Tommy John surgery in there somewhere. So good to see you have some patience with his Rule 5-ness and then patience with a arm injury, and you get rewarded. Bauman came in relief, 1 2/3, no hits, did give up a run, did walk somebody, struck out 1. No save situation, but Cano comes in, 1 inning pitch, 1 hit, zeros everywhere else. Austin Voth closed out the game yesterday, 1 inning, no hits, no runs, no walks, 1 strikeout. take a look at the schedule. Today's Monday. The Orioles have an off day. So that just delays them having to decide what to do about a fifth starter. Starting a series in Milwaukee on Tuesday. Continues through Wednesday and Thursday. But they then turn around and start a series with the Kansas City Royals. Be a home series, right? Versus Kansas at Milwaukee, in Milwaukee. Versus, meaning the Orioles will come back home for the series with Kansas City. So, because of the off day, 1, 2, 3, 4, Saturday and Sunday, we'll see what Michael Elias and Brandon Hyde want to do. Looks like Saturday they're going to need somebody to start the game. Are you going to have enough bullpen? Or are you going to need to bring up another starting pitcher? Theoretically, Grayson Rodriguez should have enough time to get one more outing, maybe tomorrow in the minor leagues, AAA Norfolk. Work on his fastball command, and then maybe join the club again on the weekend. Though, with Zimmerman up, possibly could take a spot in a rotation, maybe with Voth or Bauman, who consistently pitch a lot of innings. Mostly because they are more recent starters converted into relief pitchers. So we'll have to see where we go there. Orioles are 37-22. They haven't necessarily lost any ground in the AL East. Yankees are still 2 games back. I'm going to have to keep this up. I'm going to have to keep playing at least 500. But you keep playing 500 for long enough, and teams below you are actually going to catch up to you. So you got to do something. You're getting lots of injuries. Mullins is down. We have no idea how long he'll be out. Henderson, tricky with back spasms, so I don't know. They're going to have to they are going to need another starter, so we'll just have to see. Wrap this up here. A lot of things might be playing out this week as far as the outfield situation and the starting rotation. I'll be watching the games. Hopefully you will be too. And hopefully you'll tune in next week for another edition of Ryno's Orioles Report. It's going to do it for this week. Be sure to like and subscribe. I am the Angry Ryno, and this is Birdland.